Beach Brooks III here.
Roberto Anton. What is your take on the new bill, or rather I should say the new law at this point, that deals with fault and payouts and personal injuries? And why are lawyers so up in arms?
Attorneys are up in arms because it's put the advantage behind big business and insurance companies. Us attorneys, we love the underdog story. We represent injured people, and we are suing or pursuing large businesses, insurance companies, and that should be a legal or level playing field. The courtroom should be open to every person, regardless of how much money they have, what background they have, what the particular case is. I believe that's for a jury to determine, not legislators up in Tallahassee. So I think it's a very unfortunate aspect or change in Florida, but I think it's even more important now than ever to make sure that you have good attorneys willing to fight with you, willing to take those difficult cases and push forward and get them in front of juries, because I still believe juries, once they hear the facts, are going to do the right thing. How about you?
I think for me the big issue is that this is already a David and Goliath match. The insurance company has what amounts to effectively infinite money to hire counsel, attorneys. They can go forever. The only way that, as insureds, us, we, you, anybody watching this has of making sure that they fulfill their contractual obligations to you after an accident is by there being rules in the system that dictate how they must behave and deal with you. And when you curtail those things, what you basically have is you have David versus Goliath, but Goliath gets the hand put on the scale in his favor. That doesn't make any sense. And the insurance companies are going to cry and they're going to scream about, we're doing this, or this is necessary to lower insurance premiums. But these laws have been rolling out for years. It's been a trickle, and now it's all of a sudden a giant waterfall of legislation. And have insurance premiums gotten lower? Mine haven't. So you have to ask yourself at some point, who is this actually for?
Unfortunate times in our state, that's for sure. What's something you learned in a courtroom that changed your approach to work or life?
Actually, it goes back to what you said earlier about, basically what you can prove. And that is that, as much as I do believe, and I think I have a very strong sense of justice and what's right and wrong, the unfortunate reality of the situation is that your capacity to vindicate your rights, to get justice, is only as good as the evidence that you can bring to bear to demonstrate that you've been harmed, that you're owed money, you're owed whatever. And I think that definitely informs the way that I approach almost everything in my life. Sometimes you have to look past whatever the ideology happens to be. You have to look at the practical side of it and work with what you have and not with what you think is probably right.
I would say the one thing that being in the courtroom has taught me is that justice is real. Insurance companies like to make issues about certain aspects of the case, whether it be a gap in treatment, minimal property damage, whatever it may be. And when you get the facts and the truth in front of a jury, 9 times out of 10, the jury's going to see right through the tactics that the defense is doing and bring justice to the client and return full and fair verdict. So to me, it strengthened my belief in what I do as an attorney, strengthened my belief in the judicial system, because juries are good people. And once they hear the facts and the truth, they're going to do what's right.
What makes you proud to be in Tampa?
Proud to be Tampa. A couple years ago, I would say, big sports fan. We were Tampa Bay. We won the Super Bowl, we won the Stanley Cup, we won the minor league soccer championship, and the Rays made the World Series. So the slogan was Tampa Bay, but I can't say that anymore because we're no longer champions. But just a sense of community. Ever since Tampa's been my home, Tampa's constantly evolving, it's growing. We have an eclectic group of people from all different backgrounds. A lot of people move here from other states. And it's just whenever I'm around people who call this home, it just makes me really proud to live here.
Yeah, I think sort of piggybacking on that, I feel like I love the diversity here. I love the inclusivity. We just did the Pride event, and it was, I mean, you know, I am not myself a member of that community. I consider myself an ally, but at the same time, I do like the opportunity to go out there and, you know, let people know that we're here for them. And, you know, I like the idea that we are a melting pot, you know, and it's not a salad bowl here. People are not just off in their corners. People do mix, and people do, you know, you get a nice cross section of humanity here. And I think generally speaking, I've gotten a pretty warm sense of community from people, not necessarily during traffic, but everywhere else, I think I felt like, yeah, this is everyone's welcome here.
This is my last question I have for you. Dessert you can't say no to.
Like really good parfait. Like,
Is parfait even a dessert?
Greek, I mean, it is for me, like Greek yogurt, bunch of fruit and granola. That's like that's.
I forgot you can't have carbs, can you?
I mean, I assure you, there's plenty of carbs in berries and granola and in Greek yogurt. Yeah, that's I would say that's my Achilles heel dessert wise.
So I'm not a big like sweet dessert person. I am more of a salty person. Like I'm the type of person that I will eat all the chips and salsa before the meal even comes, so I don't even need to order a meal. But if I'm strictly sticking to dessert, I would have to say cheesecake.
Oh, that's a good one. That is a good one. Okay, and Apple or Android?
I'm an Apple guy, and it frustrates me because you're an Android guy. Every time I send you a text, it pops up in green. I'm like, do we have to get you a company phone so I can, you know, make sure that all my texts are blue? But I'm a big Apple guy.
I'm an Android guy, and I regret nothing.
Actually, I had one stuck to the back of that, so this is actually, I think, my last question. What's one easy thing about your job?
One easy thing about my job, coming to work. Definitely, I think coming to work. I don't. I have worked in, you know, when I did defense before I came onto the plaintiff side, and I will tell you that I had those days that I almost couldn't get out of bed. I didn't want to face the partner or the whoever, my clients who were insurance companies at that point, and it's really lovely working with people that you genuinely like and that, you know, you look forward to seeing every day.
I would say one common thing I hear among attorneys is complaining about clients or clients being needy. I enjoy talking to clients. I mean, everyone has different backgrounds, everyone has different experience. And once again, if I'm gonna go in front of a jury and ask for a large amount of money for that person for what's been taken from them, I need to know that person. So I love talking to the clients, getting to know them, getting to know what their interests are, what their family life dynamics are, getting to know everything about them. If I could just talk to clients all day, and that's one thing I had to do, I would enjoy it. But clients is what brings me to work. Getting good results for them is what motivates me, and just talking to them is my favorite part of my job.
It's funny you say that, because there was at some point or another when we were having a conversation about a specific case, and I said, well, I think I value it like this, and I think we should do this and this and that. And you said, well, why do you think that? And I explained, I went through a bunch of particulars and technical aspects and the law and this and the other. And I said, why, you know, what do you think about this other case or this other thing? And you said, you know, in this instance, you did this, why did you do that? And you said, I believed in the client. And that was a light bulb moment for me. And it definitely affected how I thought of that because of how you're saying that you like to talk to the clients. And like I said, I came from a defense background. So my clients, when I spoke to people, it was an insurance adjuster, and it was not what I would call, there wasn't a lot there to work with regard to having a lot of sympathy for the person who I was going to be defending exactly. And it definitely reshaped the way that I approach my practice and how I evaluate cases. To when I speak to my clients, I'm thinking, you know, trying to think of regardless of what the numbers are, what the situation happens to be, do I believe in them? And I think oftentimes there's cases that I wouldn't have valued very high that end up paying off well. And it was because I correctly assessed that this was a person that, you know, we could get behind and we could take, and that, you know, if we stood by them, it was going to pay off, and it did.
Clients, personal injury clients, aren't looking for handouts. They just want to get what's taken from them. They didn't ask to be involved in a car crash or slip and fall. They didn't ask for any of this. And I constantly am asking, if I was in this person's shoes, what would I want? And a majority of the time, there's no dollar figure that you can attain to that. But you can get good results for these people if you know them, if you talk to them, and you truly get to know their story. So, well, I appreciate your time today, Roberto. It's always fun talking to you. I think I know you a little bit better now. Maybe I need to get a colored keyboard, spice up my office a little bit. But I hope you guys enjoyed it.